today what we're doing is we're celebrating and basically informing people about the good news about the federal legislation, which is going to be protecting jobs here in Sault Ste. Marie across Canada, making Canadians safe and healthy, and it's better for the environment. And what it is I was approached by Arauco here about a year ago or so to talk about some changes that the Americans were doing as it relates to regulations around formaldehyde. And they were going from a voluntary standard in the United States to what they call a mandatory standard. And the people here, along with the Composite Association, said we would like the federal government to also do that. And so I said, why? And they said, well, what could happen is if they have a mandatory standard, we have a voluntary, which they do. But they also reminded me that their processes had a higher level and standard than what was out there anyways. But what they were saying was there's a possibility for dumping, and not a possibility but a reality for dumping from other countries that create an inferior product that have a lot of formaldehyde in it that make people sick. And so that was a very big concern, the health of our people in the Sioux and across this country, but also job loss, because the dumped panel that would come in here would affect 130 jobs here at Arauco.
Well, this was a big win. It doesn't just affect Arauco, it's industry-wide in Canada. So we belong to the Composite Panel Association. And by having the standard in place, what it does is it doesn't change how we make our board. We've always exceeded any standard that was put in place, but what it does is it prevents offshore countries from making a substandard board with up to 20 times the amount of formaldehyde coming from that board and dumping it here in Canada. We won't have to change one thing. As I said, we've always met or exceeded. We're an industry leader 20 years ago in terms of the formaldehyde emissions, and as the standards have slowly been put into place, most of what we make goes to the U.S., so they've enacted policies and procedures and limits, and we've always we strive to be about half of what the industry standard is. So it's no change to our process, which it's just a level playing field now.